Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bob Pivot Courts at the Cardinals Sports Complex for CTN's coverage of girls high school tennis. It's the Cardinals hosting the Irondale Knights, the finale of the regular season for the Cardinals. It was pushed back Tuesday. This match was supposed to occur, but was delayed due to weather, and the weather not ideal here today. It's overcast and gloomy, windy, but for now at least dry. We're going to see a lot of doubles. They're playing doubles all down the line instead of the traditional 4 singles and 3 doubles teams. And we will focus primarily on first and second doubles. At first doubles, Emma Newton and Carly Nelson for the Cardinals, taking on Tabitha Mungai and Annie Lingdahl of Irondale. Coon Rapids with the first serve, and Carly at the line. And she will get an ace for the first point. Good start. This doubles team has been quite successful for the Cardinals, playing in the first doubles spot all season long. Mungai with the return, and Nelson plays it into the net, so we're at 15s. Ooh, and a nice play by Emma Newton at the net on the return. Just hammered it back between the Irondale duo to get the point. Keep the Cardinals in front now, 30-15. Return is long, so it'll be 40-15 and game point for the Cardinals. Nelson rather, struggling with her service from the left side as the lefty. She's had to go to that second serve, but another hit into the net will keep the Knights alive. Annie Lingdahl for Irondale. Too much on it, and we'll go to deuce. Knights doing a nice job on that point of keeping it away from Emma Newton at the net. Nice drop shot there by Lingdahl, and Nelson not able to get there in time. And it'll be an ad out for the Knights. And they will get game one, as Newton not able to take advantage of that shot up near the net. Opportunity that got away from the Cardinals as they had that 40-15 lead, but the Knights able to rally for the win in game number 1. And so Cardinals broken on their first service. See if they can respond and pay the favor to the Knights, as looks like Tabitha Mungai will handle the first service for Irondale. First just wide. And Newton's return into the net. Good power on the serve from Mungai. And another play into the net for the Cardinals, and a quick 30-love lead for Irondale. Newton, a good strong cross-court pass. Mungai plays it into the net. 30-15. All the work for Mungai on the baseline on that point for Irondale, but she's able to make it pay off. Finally put it in a place where Nelson couldn't return. Gets her team game point at 40-15. Just in too close to the body on Nelson. She couldn't recover. Good play in close to the net for Annie Lingdahl. Gets him the point in the game and a 2-0 lead for Irondale. Starting to put a little pressure on the Cardinals. Still very early, obviously, in this first set. As Emma Newton goes to the service line for the first time. Nelson just long. And it's love 15. Down the line, it was out of reach of Lingdahl. Mungai not able to recover in time, so it's 15-0. Newton with good power on that return, just fired it a bit wide, 15-30. Maybe she did catch the line. She called 30-15, so Cardinals with the lead. Double fault, 30-all. Both services for the Cardinals. They've struggled with that first service a little bit. That was the first default, double fault we've seen. And we see another back-to-back. And that gives Irondale the break point. Trying to go 3-0 here in the first set. Long. That is a 3-0 start for Irondale here at first doubles. Certainly what they were hoping for, especially when it includes 2 service breaks. And as we move forward through today's broadcast, we'll also bring you a little bit of second doubles for the Cardinals. Their top 2 singles players teaming up to play some doubles. And that is something we see frequently when we get to section time, that Cardinal singles players will jump together to play as doubles, hopefully make a deeper run into the section tournament. Facebook, all over it for CTN. Put out all, give us a thumbs up, just like Highlights Hennon over on the far side. So now Lingdahl serving with the Knights up 3-0 in set number 1. And she will get the ace, a quick 15-love lead. And now a double fault will even it up. Talked about it during the last service for the Cardinals. They hadn't seen any double faults. And now a double fault for the first time for Irondale. 15 all here in game 4. Knights leading 3-0 in the first set. Just missed wide. Newton escorts it out. Give Coon Rapids a 15-30 lead. Right to the back corner. Nicely played point for Annie Lingdahl. Got it past Newton. Up at the net, no chance into that back corner, 30 all. And another double fault. She's double faulted both times she served from that side. So Cardinals a break point. And they will do just that. Good return softly across by Nelson. Lingdahl not able to come up on it quickly enough. And the Cardinals steal one back. Cut it to a 3-1 deficit here in the first set. Return well wide. Coon Rapids jumps up 15 love. Turn into the net, love 30. Nelson has had to go to second service both times, but Irondale not able to return in play, so Again, going to the second set. Serve. Well long, and it's a 40-love lead. Rapids trying to get back within a game. Newton thought she had it. Comes up a little bit short. And point for Irondale. Keeps them alive at 40-15. That return is wide, so Coon Rapids able to win a couple back-to-back and make this one a little closer. We're at 3-2 as they take their next break. And certainly a little bit easier water break this time for the Cardinal duo. Last time they switched sides, they were trailing 3-0. And on the flip side, Mungai and Irondale were all smiles and laughs. The last time they switched sides, now have to be a little less confident in that lead as it has shrunk to 3-2. Great play by Irondale at the net. Nelson backed off, thought it was going long, but it caught the back corner. And a good start to the service for Mungai, up 15-love.
Not necessarily. That's how it always works.
Mungai again, a good play at the net. That time went way up and put it right at Emma Newton where she could not return, and a 30-love lead for the Knights. Newton's is return a little bit wide. 40-love. A little too much on at that time for Irondale. Keeps Coon Rapids alive in this one, 40-15. Great play again. Irondale, very big game at the net on that service. Helps them close it out and push the lead back to 4-2. Another look. Irondale obviously tall, has long arms, covers a lot of space when she comes to the net. The return, though, on the service is wide, and it'll be 15 love as Newton serves for the Cardinals. And now it's Nelson's chance to be strong at the net. She gets that point, a win quickly. 30 love Cardinals. First was Let, now second serve. Irondale playing it to that back corner. So now 30-15, first service is wide. And a great return right there by Mungai. No chance for Newton nor Nelson to get over to that other corner, and we're at 30-all. Good strong serve. The return is long. And Coon Rapids has game point at 40-30. That one is long, and the Cardinals will fall behind now 5-2 as they switch sides. And Irondale in a great spot here, an opportunity. Oh, I apologize. Not over yet. Deuce. Play into the net will give advantage Coon Rapids. And they really need to get this win, keep Irondale from getting to that 5-2 lead where they would have an opportunity, couple opportunities to close out set number one. Good service, returned into the net, and a big win for the Cardinals to keep it close at 4-3 as they switch sides. Lingdahl to serve next for Irondale. Cardinals were able to break her service first time and could use another service break here, try and bring this one back to even. return into the net for Newton, so an early 15-love lead for the Knights. Good point by Nelson, creeping up. Good return, and then creeped up and put it away.
Guys, you're playing on the same team. Come on.
Play it right at their feet, makes it hard. Now into the net. Will keep the Knights in front, 30-15. Help from the net. And not quite the angle that Nelson needed. Game point, Irondale. Nelson right at Mungai. Ducked out of the way, and it found that back corner. Keeps the Cardinals alive, 40-30. Good strong point for Emma Newton. And brings it back to deuce. First service is let. Nelson just a little too much on it. It'll be advantage Irondale. Another play into the net. It'll be game Irondale, and now they have that opportunity at 5-3 to close out the first set. A huge service here for Carly Nelson. Mungai will off angle, plays it into the net. Cardinals the early 15-love lead. It is not the hit that Emma Newton wanted, but it was effective. As it did get played into the court and did not get returned. Looked at her racket as if she may have broken a string there, but everything looks good. So 30-love lead for the Cardinals.
it down the line so I'm not just going.
Just a little bit long, so it's 40 love. Cardinals in a great spot here. Try and keep this first set alive. See, just a foot long in front of Carly Nelson. And that one just wide, and it'll be a quick game in favor of the Cardinals. 4-5 here in the first set.
I'll play like.
Mungai to serve for Irondale. The Knights have won both of her services so far.
It's not warm enough. Like, I don't know.
Mungai, the only one of the four to not have her service broken to this point here in set number one. Trying to close it out for the Knights, who lead 5-4 in the first. Return into the net, and it's 15 love. Another return into the net, and it's quickly 30 love.
Oh, my ankle. Ooh, that did not feel good. Yeah, because I was going to just hit it back in.
Got that one off the handle, went sky high, and will not make it back over the net. 30-15. Return is long, and it's game point for the Knights and set point. Got a couple opportunities here at 40-15 to close this one out and get set number one in their favor. Oh, great winner down the line for Tabitha Mungai, and the Knights are going to close out the first set with a 6-4 win.
When do I back up?
So the Cardinals will start the service for set number two, but we will switch to second doubles. Already in progress in game number two.
Sorry, that was my fault.
I believe Coon Rapids won the first.
Well.
Cannot not see the scorecard. I'm not sure where we are in game number 2. Or we could be in game number 3. But we will get caught up, I promise you, at some point. And we'll try and get back over to first doubles as they near the conclusion of set number 2. This is Kate McGuire serving for the Knights. Sydney Wynn, her partner at the net. A little too excited about that one and put it right at her own feet.
0-0 love ball. You got it.
Grace Anula and Ellen Everhart teaming up for the Cardinals on the far side. Normally play singles.
There you go.
Ellen has been in the number 1 singles spot most of this season, with Grace playing in the 2nd spot. Frequently see Coach Stork mix things up in the tournament. Take double or singles players and have them combine to hopefully make a deeper run at sections. And we could be seeing one of those teams right here. I, of course, don't know for sure, but we do know that it is 2-1 in favor of Coon Rapids here as they switch sides. Anula's first service just a bit long. Double fault, not how she was hoping to start.
That's you.
Good volley, just long for McGuire. 15 all.
I got it. Out.
Turn just long, and Coon Rapids will take the 30-15 long lead.
30-15. Second.
Wynn trying to sneak one past and didn't get what she wanted on it. And now Coon Rapids up 40-15. Good return that time for Wynn, as she had to be quick on her feet as Everhart played it pretty much right at her. But Wynn able to play it to that far back corner where nobody could get to it.
40-30. Second.
Another double fault, 40 all. Okay. I'm joined now by Tony Hurdy. Tony, thanks for coming over. We're watching Ellen and Grace, and I know you've been on staff for a couple of years with Coach Storick. What are some of the challenges for players who have played singles all year to all of a sudden play doubles?
Well, Joe, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. One of the things to adjust to when you play doubles is, of course, moving at the net. You see Ellen there. She's getting her feet moving as Grace is serving here. And associating that with when the ball goes over the net at this time, making sure that she's moving up and back as well as laterally and covering the doubles alleys. A lot of the times in singles, you're moving straight up and you're usually trying to play that ball just inside the service line. And with doubles, you have that person who can then, of course, cut in front of you. And you'll have to stay back if you're serving at the baseline. Coach Storick does preach a lot about his girls getting in, especially moving in from the baseline up. And you'll see as you watch these matches too, both girls start to move up, as you can see right there. Ellen moves up, and so does Grace as they get up to the service line. He would like them even closer to the net.
And you're JV head coach? Correct?
Yes, correct, yeah.
And, how long have you been on staff now?
5 years. It seems like yesterday he asked me to help out with the team and with the staff. So it's been an enjoyable ride, and these girls are just wonderful human beings as well as wonderful tennis players too. So it's been a joy.
Well, it keeps you busy. I know you help out with the boys in the spring, and in the winter it's hockey.
Absolutely, 3 sports. It keeps me out of trouble, as they say. But it's wonderful. The girls' season is enjoyable too because of the weather as well. As you notice, it's a little chilly today, but and the boys in the spring, we're used to shoveling snow
right.
at the first
especially last year.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We got to work out. I know Coach Storick, he was out here on his prep hours some days, I think, shoveling snow over this fence.
Well, and we talked about it a lot during the spring of last year. What a wonderful job Coach Storick did. It was really the story of the season. They had 48 guys come out, and rather than send guys away, you created a 4th team, kept everybody playing. That's just it's just great, and it's great to see sports that are gaining in popularity, and to see programs that aren't turning kids away but are saying, hey, if you want to play with us, we're going to find room for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is one of those lifetime sports that kids can play continuously after high school. It's one of those sports that creates a lot of character, and we don't want to turn any kids away. It's a no-cut sport. He has had that since I've been here the last 5 years, and I know he's done that for the 20 years he's been here, and creating character with these kids and having these kids come out and be a part of something. I think last spring we had, I think, around 18 kids that did not participate in any other sports besides boys tennis, and by the time that they were done, they could have graduated from high school or moved on and said that they were part of the school, that they were part of a group, they were part of a team, and building that character, which was awesome. And that's what we try to do here at the high school as the one team motto that we have, creating a culture and creating a place for students to belong. And I think that's what a great thing was. And then along with that, creating a successful season 2 with wins and losses.
Well, while we have a short changeover, Coon Rapids up 4-1 in this first set at second doubles. Of course, if you didn't know by now, you can catch everything we do on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CTN Studios or /CTN Coon Rapids. And for a lot of people, it's the best way to watch. I know when I was out of town last year, I tuned in to watch what Howie was doing. Keep an eye on what was going on back home, and back to your point, you talked about how many kids you have involved, and that's great. And I know one of the other things that a lot of coaches have preach is multi-sport athletes, and I know especially for the boys team, a lot of multi-sport athletes. Of course, I look out on the court we're watching now. Grace Anula, a multi-sport athlete as well.
Absolutely. Tennis is a wonderful sport. I know that the boys had quite a few hockey players that we had in the wintertime play tennis in the spring. And it does great things for your hand-eye coordination, moving up to the net, your reaction times, your lateral movements, your quick feet, which is something that Coach Stork preaches all the time. The old adage that the legs feed the wolf, and certainly for tennis, having good footwork is key, especially with the ground strokes. So being a multi-sport athlete, tennis is a wonderful sport to play in the spring as well as in the fall to continue that.
Double fault for Everhart to start her service, not how she wanted, but it's a little bit breezy today.
Mm-hmm.
How much does that affect a serve?
Oh, absolutely. It affects a lot. It's more mental than anything else, Joe. It's one of those issues where if you feel a little wind, there is the ability to toss the ball up and let it hit your racket, catch it again, or let it hit the ground. But it's more of a mental aspect to it, sort of like golf when you have a windy day on the golf course. But Ellen is one of our best servers too, and being a singles player, she might have the mindset that, with Grace up front there, not used to playing with somebody in the front court, can affect you as well on your service. As you see Grace in that last point, she's playing what we call Aussie style. The Australians do that quite often, and where she's bent down in front on that center strip there. There she goes again, just giving, looks like Ellen, just the mindset that she can get it over there single style.
I would be nervous that my partner might, intentionally or otherwise, just absolutely tag me in the back of the head.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They don't have what we have in hockey. You can't wear a helmet there, but it is one of those things too that you gotta have that trust in your teammate, and when you play with them, kind of understand that that's one of those keys too. I know that when I played at the front court, it was always nice having someone who was left-handed up there too, so that I could kind of gauge where they were going to be hitting, and I could stand more to the right or to the left. Somebody who was the opposite hand of myself.
Well, I was gonna. That was another thing. I was watching. We were watching the first doubles team of Nelson and Newton, and they've been together. They were the primary first doubles team last year, have been all of this year, and of course Carly is left-handed. What benefit is that to a team to have one on each side?
Absolutely. Really, one of the things is that if you have somebody that's left-handed and right-handed, you can attack the net in Coach Stork's style. You can have them come up and cover the middle quite easily. In doubles, the old adage is down the middle solves the riddle, and that's where if you have somebody that's on the same hand, two right-handers, you have only one person with their racket in the middle at certain times. So you have a better chance of hitting it down the middle. So if you have two people that are coming up, like, for example, you have Carly and you have Emma coming up, they'll cover that middle. Or if they're on the opposite sides too, sometimes they'll cover both doubles alleys. So you have that ability to have both people on their forehands, which generally too is your strongest hand, is your forehand side.
I'm way too energetic.
Well, and of course, a rarity, I think, to have a lot of left-handers.
True. We only have two on both varsity and JV this year. We have Rowan on the JV team, and we have Carly on the varsity team. It's pretty rare. You usually see a lot of teams with just right-handed dominated players. So, but
yeah, I would say it's more rare to see left-handed tennis players than just about any other sport. I mean, every baseball team, you're going to have a couple of left-handed pitchers or you know, a left-handed first baseman, outfielder, what have you. You know, hockey, it's almost 50-50 left to right, but that's not necessarily a dominance thing. But yeah, you see lefties just about everywhere else, but even in golf. You see, I would say you even see more left-handed golfers than you do left-handed tennis players.
Absolutely. And one of the probably the most famous left-handed tennis player is Rafael Nadal. And I think it was 2 years ago we were at the U.S. Open. Coach Stork does a wonderful thing. He brings the ladies to the U.S. Open every other year or every 2 years with some of the girls that want to go out and watch, and we spend a few days out there. But the point of my story is that we got to see Rafael Nadal, very skilled, awesome left-handed tennis player, play. And the story with him is that his uncle and his father were very big tennis players, and what they ended up doing is they ended up teaching him how to hit forehands, both with his right hand and his left hand, and then switching him over to a left-handed forehand and then a two-handed backhand. So he learned to actually switch hands with his racket and play forehands on both sides until he was able to play with that left hand, and which is pretty unique in tennis.
Well, and I've got to imagine it changes up the way you serve as well, because obviously you serve deeper to one side than the other when it's right-hander versus left-hander. I don't know what that does as you're looking across and your opponent's left-handed. I know we've talked about it. Left-handed goaltenders in hockey that I lovingly refer to as goofy-handed, because it is really weird as a hockey player to have a puck on your stick, look up and see a goalie that's got his glove on the wrong hand.
Absolutely.
Is it similar with tennis?
It is similar with tennis too, because when you're lining up to receive the serve and you're looking at a left-hander, say for example they're on the right-hand side and they're serving, and you would be facing them on the other opposite, you know that they can go to the outside, that they're going to have a powerful shot to the outside. Almost in singles, that would be right on the edge, or in the doubles alley, and you'll be stretching. I mean, you might be on your forehand, but you might be stretching out there. It also, with your return, you're going to have to return, and sometimes when you return, you got to return to the middle of the court. It's very difficult to return a outside serve back to the outside on the opposite side of the.
Well, and you just get so used to trying to force your opponent to their backhand, and all of a sudden their backhand's on the other side of the court.
Right, absolutely. It's like playing on the opposite end of the world, You have to take your whole strategy and flip it. Kind of like when you're shooting a hockey puck and you look up and you see that goaltender's got the glove on the wrong hand, and you're used to shooting up there and you shoot it right into the mitt.
Yeah. I just shoot it right at the goalie. That solves that problem.
You're a logo hunter?
Yeah. It's a target on their chest.
Well, sometimes when I score, I don't even look where I'm shooting.
That's usually the best way to go about it.
That's right.
Just
Don't
shoot,
complicate things.
Shoot, close your eyes. Good play right there by Hanula, playing her right at win. No chance for her to return.
One of the keys to playing doubles is that we always say go short to short. And when you have a doubles team like Grace coming up there from the service line, she wants to go cross court right at the girl. And sometimes you have very polite girls who don't want to do that, but Grace is also a competitor where she's going to go right at her opponent. See, she just tried that again where she was trying to go across court there. Unfortunately, it went into the net, but she's trying to go right at the feet of her opponent. If the opponent doesn't move in off that service line, that's the best play you can do, nice and hard at their feet.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of first services that both first and doubles, second doubles, that everyone seems to be having a little more trouble with the first service today, and I was wondering earlier when I asked about that, if that was a wind thing, but as you mentioned, mostly the 6 inches between your ears, always the most difficult part of your body to control.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was a little worried too about possibly the rain coming in here. We felt a few sprinkles early on, and that's another thing that sometimes tennis players have to worry about a little bit, is the slickness of the court. Today you might see with first doubles, Carly does it a lot where she's rubbing her feet on the ground, or Emma too as well. But that's another point that you make about the mindset of tennis here as we see Irondale serve.
Well, and we've talked about it for years. I mean, it's such a mental game. And just when things are down, to try and keep yourself from letting things get away, staying mentally strong is half of the sport, really.
Oh, absolutely. And it's one of those things. It's comparable to golf. It's comparable to golf in the sense that sometimes you have players who monkey with their swing every time. When you hit one bad ball, or if you hit one bad shot, you decide, hey, I got to tweak it a little bit, or I got to do this a little bit, when it could be the wind, or it could be just something that, you just undercut that ball just a little too much. And when you change that, you change the whole dynamic of your swing. And you just have to persevere and keep going with it. You got to have confidence in it. And I always tell the girls, you got to do it shot by shot, play by play, shot by shot. And sometimes you can't dwell on the negative, and you can't overhype the positive. You just have to play that next point. And that next point can be just as important or more important than the last one that you just had.
Another win for the Cardinals. Will close out set number 1. They will win the first set 6-1. And a great start for Everhart and Hanula. So we're going to go ahead and switch back over to the first doubles. Irondale had a 3-2 lead, but Coon Rapids able to win a couple, take the 4-3 lead here in the second set. As we see Mungai serving.
Beautiful shot there by Emma Newton. She got her to the outside into the doubles alley, and she returned that long. That was a beautiful shot, especially in doubles, getting her to move at that backcourt there.
Hey, talk about, the strategy in singles is to get your opponent to move side to side. Not as much room on the court when there's two players on the other side.
Absolutely not. It's one of those things where I find doubles a little bit more enjoyable to watch, just because there is more strategy involved, and you have to move. I call it the windshield wiper. You have to find out which opponent that you can, in all intents and purposes, pick on, or who's not moving as the windshield wiper. As the front court girl moves, you want to make sure that if the other girl from the back court doesn't move up, you can go down the middle, or if the one girl stays towards the front of the net and she doesn't move over, she opens up the doubles alleys. So you always have to be able to take a look. I always say that singles players, they're able to just to rally, to put their head down sometimes and just hit it over the net and move that opponent. Where doubles, you'll notice if you watch Emma and Carly, when they hit the ball, immediately their head is up on the point of contact. As you see there, Emma, she hit it into the net, but she had her head up already looking to place that ball and where that ball is going to go. And then Carly's watching it as well. If you see, Carly will watch that ball almost directly as it goes over the net to where she's going to go next. It's almost like a chess match, a little bit, moving together. As you see, both of them are up again.
Well, and that, that's one thing Coach Sork has frequently done, is take a couple of singles players and put them together to see if they can make a deeper run at section tournament time, which, just before you joined me, I talked about, we may see Ellen and Grace team up to try and make a run at sections. It's got to be so much easier, though, for a team like Emma and Carly that have been together to know your partner and have played with your partner for a long time, it's got to make things so much easier.
Absolutely, knowing where your partner is going to move. It's like playing defense in hockey. You just know that that person's going to be there if you ever get in trouble to dump that pass off to, or to have an outlet, to know that they're backing you up, or they're going to be in that spot, or if that ball gets by you and it's going down the middle and you're up by the net, that Emma's going to be there if Carly can't get to it. And communication is the key too. That's another thing that I know Coach Stork preaches is communication. Sometimes you see these singles players come in and they're not used to communicating to each other, or communicating where they are on the court. But you will always hear Emma Newton and Carly Nelson talking to each other. The one plus though for having strong singles players is that they do hit the ball every single time it goes over the net, and they do serve every single time that they have the opportunity. Where doubles players, you have them serving half the time, if my social studies math is correct there. And that's the one thing that you might see doubles players lacking. You might see one doubles player be a strong person up at the net and another person with a good service game. But singles players, when you play them at doubles, they typically have very strong serves, and you might see a lot more aces if that's the case in the doubles.
There's no rules though, as far as, I mean, I always see the doubles teams, they stay on their side, and one will move up and one will move back. They can switch sides, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Switch sides. I can always play up in the net.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There is.
I mean, I know that I have to serve every other time it's our turn,
Yep,
but
yep. Yes, absolutely. There's no rule to that. Some teams will actually play two back. If you have someone that has a strong serve and someone who, say for example, is like Ella Georgie and has really great hands at the net and does a lot of overheads, you might play two back. I'm not going to out any teams that are in our conference, but excuse me, Maple Grove or some of the other teams that we have, or you might have teams like Champlain Park that always play one up, one back, no matter what. And typically, it's kind of the personality of the head coach, how the girls play. And you around here long enough, such as I am, you kind of get used to what each team's going to play. Coon Rapids is going to play aggressive, and they're going to have a lot of good girls that are going to volley like that, like Carly Nelson, who has some good hands from her lacrosse days there. It's going to get up there and get in the front of the net. But you'll have some teams like Maple Grove that will stay back and want to rally a lot and hit a lot of ground strokes. And sometimes, getting back to that, Joe, what you're talking about, if you have two singles players playing together, they might want to play two back if they like that style.
it seems to me it gives you more opportunity to see the ball and to play the ball from the baseline. But of course, as you see on that last point with Carly, if you've got quick hands at the net, it makes it nearly impossible to return.
Oh, absolutely, and that's going short to short. That's one of the things is, and you can't really teach it too often, is that quickness in your hands. And sometimes you have that athletic girl that'll be able to return those, and sometimes you won't. And you'll see right there, nice overhead by Irondale there, and they were back there at the service line. So Carly's got confidence in her hands. She's getting up there. You even notice right now she's halfway up from the service line towards the net. She's ready for that return.
That game comes at you very quick when you're that tight to the net.
Oh, absolutely. And she has a lot of confidence, and it seems like she has a lot of confidence going on right now. So that typically is, as a coach, I can tell she's standing closer to the net. She's keeping her feet moving, and the more confidence a player has, the closer they usually stand.
Now, are you JV girls, are they all playing doubles today too?
They are all playing doubles today. We decided to do something a little unique that I know Coach Stork hasn't done in his 20 years that he told me, that we're going to play all doubles today. But it's good work for some of the girls that play singles all the time, building character like we talk about. But all the JV girls are playing doubles today as well, learning the game. Like I said, one of the most difficult parts of playing doubles is moving up at the net, and that's kind of a skill that we want to adapt in all of them too.
And now from here, wasn't today originally scheduled to be the divisional crossover to start the section tournament?
It was, and we had a rain out the other day, and we were expected to play Irondale earlier this week, and it rained out. So fortunately for us, it turned out that we're playing them today. And I think it was Tuesday we were supposed to play them.
Yep.
And we were supposed to play doubles all for that match, and we asked Irondale's coach, and he said, sure, we'll play doubles today too, even if it was the crossover.
Okay, so this is the crossover.
This is the crossover as well as the match for the conference match. So
okay,
it's a pretty unique thing. It's a 2-for-1.
How does that work?
Well, I guess we were just lucky, Joe. I don't know what else to say, but I think that we have a good working relationship with the Irondale head coach, and he was all right with doing that. I know that tonight they have the conference meeting where they're going to be deciding some of the seeds and some of the sections and things like that. So
either any way you slice it, this is the end of the regular season.
It is.
So,
it
which
is.
is why we made sure to be here. I haven't even touched on the fact that Howie wasn't able to make it. He had a work event. Has to go schmooze big clients at a Twins game. But when we were trying to be here on Tuesday, and when that was rained out, and we were able to scramble and get enough crew here, they asked if I would be able to come. I said I will come. It's our last chance to do a tennis match this year, so I'll definitely make it happen.
No, we're glad to have you guys here, and it's always wonderful to have the TV exposure that you guys provide, and it's a great outlet for people in the community to see what we do at Coon Rapids and to watch the girls, and for friends and family of them to watch it. I know I've watched a few, and I've seen a few live streams too myself of all the different sports that you guys do. You guys do an exceptional job with the football. You guys do an exceptional job with the hockey after I watch the replays. Hopefully after some of our wins. So those are always the nicer ones to watch. But you guys always provide some great color commentary and some great analysis.
Well, we'll see what I can do about hockey this year. The next few years, that might I don't know what's going to happen there. I'll have to figure it out. I don't know that I want to do the kids' games once he starts making that varsity team, and I certainly don't know that I want to be at a basketball game when he's playing hockey. But we'll figure that out as we go. So, but yeah, I'm glad you're not watching too much of the tennis, because we don't really know what we're talking about. Howie actually knows a little bit, but the game hasn't changed that much since he played in high school.
Well, was he playing with the wooden rackets?
Oh yeah,
back in the day.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely.
So I was going to say, yeah, the wooden rackets and.
Yeah, the scoring's the same.
That's true.
The game itself has not changed, as everything is. Equipment has changed in every sport, but.
Absolutely, everything's gotten a lot lighter. Everything has gotten a lot quicker, a lot faster. Athletes have become a lot more advanced in their training as well, and you see that a lot in our girls. I do have to say that I'm pretty proud of our girls. We play a lot of multi-sport athletes, and it shows too. So I'm very happy. They put in a lot of time and a lot of effort, and we really appreciate you guys coming here to display that too.
Well, that's the big thing. We just don't, especially with girls, because they start so early and they're done so early. We don't have a lot of. It's not as easy to get them in, and your matches start so much earlier in the day. It's hard to get through, but we try to make it out at least for one. So when we had the opportunity to do today's match, I said, yeah, absolutely, we got to do it before the season's over. So.
No, absolutely, we're glad to have you, and hopefully more in the future too as well, and next season and the seasons coming.
Well, we'll see if my heart survives the next hockey season.
Well, I hope so. A lot less games in overtime and a lot less one-goal games. That'll save you some time, but I think we'll be getting better. We'll be improving.
Well, it's not easy being a goalie dad.
I can't imagine. I can only imagine. I have a nephew, and he's in a southern city. I'll just say that he's in a southern city. He's a younger kid, and he'll be playing goalie too. So for my brother-in-law, I don't envy him.
How young?
He's going to be 7.
Oh, so he's making the decision really early.
Oh yeah, his father played goalie for us when I was in college.
Okay.
So he's super excited. So I think he's fascinated with the goalie helmet, the mask.
Well, it's hard not to. Getting some early results in, 4th and 6th doubles, a couple of wins for the Cardinals. First varsity win for the 6th doubles players. I'm not sure he didn't put down the names, but that's good. And Coach Stork does a nice job of updating his website with some good details for us to pass along on Sports Night. But
yeah, you'd be hard pressed to find a man who doesn't keep track of sports scores or community like Coon Rapids activities like Scott Stork. He's pretty up to date, and he's pretty passionate. He'll say he's not a competitive guy. He'll say it's about the experience, which is true, but he keeps up to date on all his Coon Rapids scores.
Well, he's we're very the community very fortunate to have him. He is so passionate about tennis in the city, and he does such a great job with both high school programs, but also with all the youth programs, coaching kids all summer long, and just keeping kids involved. And that's you talked about it earlier, a lifelong sport, and that's kind of always been his mantra. We want them to fall in love with the sport and want to play for the rest of their lives. And he does it from young age. He also organizes some adult leagues that run here on the courts during the week as well.
Absolutely. If anybody's interested, they do have USTA tournaments up here too, and those do benefit the girls tennis team and the boys tennis team as well. I know that it was 3 weeks ago we had a mixed doubles tournament up here. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what level it was, but I know that it was at least a 4-0. But wonderful to see. We also run the JV conference tournaments here, and Scott does a wonderful job of doing that. We also run a USTA singles tournament during the summer for 14-year-olds, and then another one for 16-year-olds, both boys and girls. And it's a wonderful way to get people in the community, not only in Coon Rapids, but in other areas too, to come here and enjoy these wonderful courts that we have. I will tell you, there's no facility like this that I've seen with this many courts in this good of shape. It's a wonderful resource to have here too for that.
Well, and you mentioned it. I was noticing all the patches. You can see them obviously running throughout the court. How much of an effect does that have on your game to have patches like that?
To be honest with you, every once in a while it'll come up, but if you're in a groove like in any other sport, you hardly notice it. When we needed these patches, it was basically just to kind of smooth out the court a little bit. They weren't very large cracks, but I think that as a player, if you're down, if your serve isn't getting in, or if otherwise you're not getting your volleys down, it might come into play, just like anything, as we talked about, the 6 inches between your ears. But as a player, if you get that one shot that might kick back, or it might have a little spin on it, it might affect you a little bit. But these girls have played, at this time, I believe it's 16, 17 matches and multiple scrimmages on these courts, and you kind of get used to the ones that you're playing on, and you know where some of those cracks are. So
there's a big play at the net by Annie Lingdahl, and that is going to close it out for Irondale. They will win. Oh no, that makes it 6-5. So
we're just ramping up the drama here, Joe. That's okay.
Keeping it close.
That's right.
Ad rallied update to go up 5-4.
Welcome to Coon Rapids High School and Cardinal Stadium for tonight's conference.
Now we hear the golden tones of Tommy G.
We'll begin the match
getting ready for the boys soccer contest. Cardinals hosting also the Irondale Knights.
It's a pretty unique place. You get the pitch behind us there, as they say in soccer lingo, or I should say
And here
football,
they are.
right? And then you have the
Number
tennis
3, junior
right outside
defense,
here. It makes it
Joseph
nice for
Clark.
people who are fans in the community to come watch multiple sports at one time.
Number 6,
I know that
junior
I've used that
defense,
resource quite
Cole
often.
Ellen.
Well, I have been a frequent visitor to the
Number
complex
7, sophomore
over the last
midfield,
20 plus years.
Amor
But who's counting?
Foley.
Who's counting?
Number 8, senior midfield.
So a
Nerman
crucial
Kisic.
game here for the Cardinals as they try
Number
to stay
10,
alive.
Junior attacker, Carlos Momsen. Number 11, senior midfield, Josue Del Rosario Montes.
This is really the game where you kind of have
Number
to be mentally
13,
tough.
senior midfield,
As you see
Benjamin
here,
Markham.
as you see, Carly's really
Number
focused
14,
there in the
senior
front
midfield,
court, and Emma's
Eric
ready with her
Silva
feet moving.
Magana. Number 17, freshman
go.
midfield.
As you see,
Samuel
even if the ball
Debo.
goes into the net, they're still moving and anticipating that ball coming across the net.
And number
They're
4,
really focused right now.
senior attacker,
As you see.
Kelvin Lackey. It looks like them. And it's defending the goal for Irondale will be junior
There you go, both of them
goalkeeper,
moving up.
Evan Ramos.
So yeah, I guess that was my question about, is there rules
And it
as to
looks
who
like
has to
number
be up
9
and
will
back,
say
and you have to stay on the safe
started.
side. If you've got one
Circle
who is
senior
much
attacker
better at
Brady
serve receive,
Wolf.
can they always be the one to receive?
Now,
To receive,
the head coach.
to
Ian
receive, yes, but
Mario
not to
Perez.
serve. You serve, you have to go every other
Now,
every
here's
other
your
game,
starters
but to
for
receive,
your
yes, you can.
Cardinals. Beginning with number 5.
And typically,
senior defense,
what will happen is that
Isaac
if you are
Brown.
playing someone who is, two very strong singles players and
Number
are playing
8,
doubles, you might see
junior
that more
defense,
often.
Jared Haida.
But we work on it very often on serves and
Number
returns
10,
and
senior
making sure that we go
midfield,
cross court to
Elmer
cross court. And you'll see that once the
Number
girl
11,
serves,
senior
the girl in the
forward,
front court has to
Pizza
determine if
Coachy.
she's going to cut in front. That's called a poach.
Number
And cut
13,
that ball off.
junior midfield,
And
Dimitri
if you're
Cox.
Carly in the front court right now, you got to be ready
Number 17,
with your hands just in
junior
case
midfield,
this girl
Angel
comes across.
Baltazar. Number 18, junior defense, Brandon Dinsmore. Number 19, junior midfield, Jackson Negrete. Number 22, junior defense, Dejan Mensah.
See, that's a nice shot by Carly there. She
And number 45,
anticipated that girl
sophomore midfield,
coming across and just
Ian
lobbed
Wood.
it. Just a little
Defending the goal for
short
the
lob into the
Cardinals
backcourt there.
tonight, sophomore goalkeeper, Caleb Winter. The head coach is Armando Oster and assisted by Giovanni
So now we play a tiebreak.
Stavu. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise
And
for
in
the
these
playing
matches, too, we play a
of our
regular
national
tiebreaker.
anthem.
So it'll be up to 7 points. It is one of those goofy things that, as tennis we were talking about before, it's an old sport with old rules, and sometimes rules make sense and sometimes they don't. Sometimes these tiebreakers are hard to follow. There you go.
So the split on the serves by Lingdahl will make it 1-1. Go to 7, win by 2. Cardinals trying to force a third set, which I don't know if they do a super
beautiful shot
tiebreak.
by
That's
Emma.
a very nice play by Newton at the net. With a couple matches already decided, they may go super tiebreak and just play first to 10, win by 2.
Yep. The other unique thing that you'll see with tiebreakers, no matter if they're 7 or if they're 10, is that when it adds up to 6 points, they'll actually rotate sides. A lot of volleys on that last point there.
Don't let the ball touch the ground.
That's right. More like volleyball sometimes. we always preach to our girls to make sure that they get up and they don't let it hit the ground, that they cut that ball down and direct it, step into that ball.
Miles per hour. Our athletic trainer on site tonight from the Institute for Athletic Medicine is Jeremy.
I believe we're at 2-2. Nice play by Newton. Good recovery, and Newton just a little too eager.
She saw that those two girls were split, and she wanted to go right down the middle.
Oh, she had the hole. She saw it and wanted it.
Oh.
Just a little too early.
And she knew it right away. This is where I was talking about. You gotta have to forget that last point, and you're gonna have to move on from there into the next one, especially in a tiebreaker. Let's see how she responds here.
Gentlemen, it's game time. Let's play soccer.
They'll switch sides. I'm not sure if we're at 3-3 or 4-2. I lost count. It's good to hear that even you said it can be a little confusing. I don't feel as bad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those age-old things that we spend at the JV level. We spend actually almost a whole practice going over just playing these, so the girls get used to it. Beautiful return by Emma Newton there. As you saw, that was a nice outside return and made her opponent go towards the doubles alley. That's a hard one to return there.
So it's 4-3 in favor of the Cardinals. I like girls who call it out nice and loud. Makes it so much easier.
There you go, a nice volley by Carly there. Right at her opponent, and short to short sometimes is the best way to go there. Just a little long on that one.
So 5-4 as the service goes back, and that's the one of those things that when I find to be kind of odd when you have two girls playing across court from the baseline, the other two just kind of watch for a while.
Absolutely, they're trying to anticipate when to poach and to cut in front and take that ball, and they're just waiting, actually anticipating for that ball to come across. And usually the first one who's aggressive wins the point. We've been trying to tell the girls that. And that's something that it takes time to instill.
Good point. And again, you saw good net play there by Carly Nelson that time. And now the Cardinals at set point.
You can kind of tell now that they're loosening it up a little bit here. They're getting a little more confident. So you watch Carly bounce around in the front there.
You're on for Coon Rapids.
There we go.
That's a huge come from behind win for the Cardinals in the second set.
Hey, you got it.
I'm not sure. They're going over to talk to Coach Stork and see if they're going to play a super tiebreak or a full third set. So let's switch over to the second doubles. As this has been a dominant show for Everhart and Hanula. Win the first set 6-1. They're up the second set 5-0, trying to close it out. Not seen the same type of back and forth we saw at second, or at first.
Looked like Hanula was trying to get that lob a little bit higher over that front court girl, and that front court girl just took advantage of that one right there.
Headed on a danger corner kick for Irondale.
I'll tell you, Joe, you're not going to find two girls that are not more competitive than those two right there. They're usually playing our first and second singles. And I know Grace is competitive not only just in lacrosse, but in hockey as well as in tennis. And I know Ellen is a pretty accomplished track and field athlete as well. I know she competes on the weight team for track and field, and she is one of the best throwers that they have.
Wait, does she have older siblings who came through here too?
She did. She had an older sister that played last year for us. And speaking of left-handed players, her older sister, Emily, had a wonderful left-handed serve, a wicked one, as they say. And she graduated last year.
I was going to say, you talk about the competitiveness. That's younger siblings tend to be very competitive and aggressive and good athletes because they're trying to keep up with their older siblings. Grace, of course, had a couple of sisters come through here a few years ago, as I had thought, I knew that Ellen had an older sister that you're always trying to, as the younger sibling is always trying to keep up with or outdo the older sibling, and leads to a lot of that competitiveness because they're trying to compete above their level.
Oh, absolutely, and that's one of those things too. I mean, Ellen is off the court. She's one of the sweetest human beings you'll ever meet. Very soft-spoken, very, very smart young lady. And then when you get her on the court, she's just tenacious. I mean, she is aggressive. She hates to lose, and the same thing with Grace. She is quiet, soft-spoken off the court, but sharp-focused when they get on the tennis court. It's unbelievable. See, they're smiling and laughing there too, but they can be competitive. They also can have a lot of fun too. The sport's pretty fun.
It's a little easier to have the stay loose and have the smiles when you're up big.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. As you see, a very unique setup there by Grace and Ellen, and I was going to point that out earlier, is that you see both of them lined up, Joe, on the same side. The server and also the girl in the front court on the same side. Grace has decided to not do the Aussie rules and go down, so if you see, they're both on the same side there. So it gives Ellen a little bit clearer of a view.
Strong point from Wynn at the net, but that last return a little too long.
And that's one of those unique things about tennis too, is Ellen is quick on her feet there, but if that ball was to hit her and then come back into the court, that would be a point for Irondale.
For Coon Rapids.
And that was Matt Point, so the Cardinals will win in solid fashion, 6-1, 6-love. So a nice win for Everhart and Hanula, who, again, played most of their time at singles, but teamed up, get a nice win for the Cardinals here. Now move back to the first doubles. And I'm not sure, I haven't seen to see if they're trying to play a full set here. With how many courts are empty, I'm guessing they're at super tie break. Kind of good return there for Newton. So it is super tie break. We're not sure what the score.
Charlie, what's your score?
6-0.
There we go.
There you go. All you got to do is ask the right person, or have the right person ask the players. So what a way for the Cardinals to come back. They were trailing in that second set. They were down, I think it was 5-4. And they were able to come back, win a tie break to force a third, or to force the super tie break. And now sitting at 6-0, 4 points away from a match win.
And there's nothing better, too, when you play with a lot of confidence there. Oh, shot right down the middle. But up until that point, playing with a lot of confidence, playing with a lot of movement in the feet. As you notice, they're bouncing their feet, moving quick feet. A lot of confidence right now. And there's nothing better than coming back after that first set, taking that second one, and then coming into this with a lot of confidence and rolling. Nice outside shot by Irondale there.
Yeah, Mungai, when we've been watching, Mungai has been very strong. She's had a nice service game. You saw her get the point up at the net on that last point.
Nice player that Irondale has there. She's pretty competitive, good racket skills. Hands are nice set of hands too, that she can put away those volleys and put away those shots. Especially if you can work those doubles alleys, which you don't see a lot of young ladies work at the high school level. Hit those winners. That'll put you in your first dubs. There's a short to short right there.
Good net play the other side for Irondale. And all of a sudden they've cut into that lead. Maybe they just don't like it when the camera's on.
And that's a tough point too, because if you notice, Carly was able to get that outside shot because she's left-handed, but that inside would have been on her backhand. So that's a tough shot for her. It's a nice point for Irondale.
Just catching the top of the tape is Irondale, and I believe it's 7-3.
I believe you're right there. Nice serve.
It's a good, strong first service.
Ooh. That's when you know things are going well for you there, Joe. When you get that first service in and it just feels good, nice and smooth. Emma's got a nice natural serve, as we say. I was talking to a few coaches this past weekend, especially some of the Elk River coaches, asking them, how do their girls get such a nice natural serve and a lot of pop on their serve? And Randy Ronning looked at me and he says, I take the girls out and we, for the first couple of practices, spend about 20 minutes throwing a football. I said, throwing a football? He says, yes, the same motion with that elbow out and then coming down is just like a natural serve. He just said, take them, spread them about 10 feet apart, have them throw the ball for about 10, 15 minutes, and then go have them do serves right away. And then they get that natural motion going right away.
That's at first I was like, what? But that makes sense. That same motion is a good point there by the Cardinals. Should put them, I believe, at 8-4. If I've counted right. I probably haven't, but we're close.
I believe you're probably right there too.
Oh yeah, because they're switching
over. Yep.
8-4.
Absolutely. So it's
It's
multiples
a
of
multiple
6.
of 6. So, but that it could be 7-5.
My social studies math tells me that's right again.
But I believe it's 8-4 in favor of the Cardinals. Oof, great quick racket again by Mungai at the net.
Nice volley. Good set of hands. As you notice too that, and you could probably hear Emma Newton and Carly Nelson talking, that you get that more with the doubles players that have played with each other a lot, as they're very vocal about where they are on the court.
Number 17, Sam Devo.
Nice serve by Carly there.
Now, if my math is correct, this would be match point. If my guess, it's more of a guess than math, I suppose. But I believe this could be match point at 9-6.
And there you go.
And it was.
Absolutely, that nice
Big
left-handed
ace,
serve.
and that's a huge come from behind win for the Cardinals. They had trouble on their services the first couple of games in that first set, and then were trailing in the second set, able to come back, win a tiebreak, and then win the super tiebreak to get the victory.
And that's just living point by point and taking it point by point, not dwelling on the last one, but just moving forward. It was a nice quality win, a nice come behind win for those girls. Happy for them.
Tony, I want to thank you for joining me and getting some of the finer aspects of tennis on our broadcast.
Well, thank you very much, Joe. I appreciate it. Anytime.
All right. Here's a look at what we have coming up for you here on CTN. We've got football coming up on Friday. It's homecoming as the Cardinals host the Panthers from Spring Lake Park. Then volleyball next Tuesday. And on Thursday next week, it's swimming and diving, I believe Elk River, at the Northdale Middle School pool. But that's going to do it for this edition of CTN Sports. Again, I want to thank everybody out there for joining us, continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. I want to thank again Tony Hurdy for helping me out today, for our entire crew, including Josh Udvig in the truck and Neil Highlights Hennon on the court. I'm Joe Young saying goodnight.